Anastasia Holmes, and I'd like to discuss informed consent. I chose to review the consent form from Joyful Life Counseling and Coaching in North Atlanta, Georgia. I was impressed with the amount of pertinent information that was included on their consent form, as well as how the consent form was laid out. It was clear, it was concise, but most importantly, as a client, it was very readable. You wouldn't get lost in what was being said, as you can with many of the forms that we get at doctors' offices today. How Joyful Life's consent form relates to the West Virginia State Legislature Code is on disclosure. The West Virginia State Legislature Code 303116 for licensed professional counselors states, all information communicated to the licensee with a client is privileged information and may only be discussed in 3 circumstances: written consent by the client, the communication with the client reveals the contemplation of an act that is dangerous to the client or others, or the client waives the privilege by bringing charges against the licensee. The client form does a good job adhering to the 2014 ACA Code of Ethics, Section A2B, under the heading Informed Consent in the Counseling Relationship. The Joyful Life consent form clearly states the counselor's qualifications, credentials, and level of experience. The form states, with respect to goals and purpose, a section called Nature of Counseling. There it states, you have the right to choose alternatives to participate in designing your own treatment plan. Through therapeutic techniques and methods, I will offer you ways in which you can reach your counseling goals and objectives. Unfortunately, there is no techniques or treatment methods listed, so it is a bit ambiguous here. The consent form is clear about limits to confidentiality and also includes a HIPAA form in the intake process. There's a discussion of fees and payments, and the form lays out what will happen in cases of non-payment and what to do if the client does experience financial hardships. The cancellation and late policy were made clear, though not directly required in the ACA Code of Ethics. Joyful Life consent form falls short in documenting what will happen if the counselor becomes incapacitated or does take a leave of absence. The form discusses the risks of diagnosis and treatment, as well as the need to disclose diagnosis to insurance companies. There is no reference to disputes or complaints against Joyful Life Counseling, which is required. And there is also no mention of social media, but technology, emails, text are covered. Now, the social media is not required on the 2014 Code of Ethics, but will be on the next update. Under the ACA Section A2E, under mandated clients, Joyful Life makes it clear that there are situations where client confidentiality will be challenged due to the protection of the client and regulation by law in some circumstances. So overall, I definitely feel that Joyful Life addresses most of what is mandated by the ACA Code of Ethics. I have noted areas that I feel are lacking, but the form is very readable and concise, which I think is very important to clients and their families. So thank you for listening, and I hope you have a wonderful day.